As for our introduction in this assignment, ratio analysis is to evaluate and monitor a company's performance. This ratio can help you to visualize how your organizations perform. The objective is to analyze financial patterns and establish financial strategies. So, 4 types of financial ratios is activity ratios, leverage ratios, liquidity ratios, and profitability ratios.
IJM Corporation Berhad was founded in 1983. It has become one of the largest companies in Malaysia. IJM Corp Berhad involved in multiple sectors, including construction, property development, and plantation. One of their property development is IJM Land Seremban 2, and they have cultivate and process oil palm. The construction divisions of the company, such as constructing resident properties, highway, bridge, and airport. Overall, I believe IJM Corp Berhad is focused on sustainability, responsibility, and priorities, environmental conservation, community development, and employer welfare.
Gamuda Berhad is a Malaysian company and established since 1976. They specialize in providing public infrastructure and property development. This company operates in 9 countries. They are known for their high quality and sustainability infrastructure projects, including highway, railways, high-rise building, and township. Gamuda's success from its strong management, technical expertise, and commitment to excellence. Gamuda continues to be a significant key player in Malaysia, and their vision is to be a leader in infrastructure and property development sector. They provide innovation and sustainable solutions to provide nation growth and development.
Liquidity. Liquidity is so important in finance. Determine how quickly an investment can be converted into the cash without affecting their pricing. The liquidity ratio is divided by 2. The current ratio and the quick ratio. The current ratio provides a broader viewing of liquidity, but the quick ratio provides a more conservative viewing by excluding inventory. The current ratio of Gamuda Berhad in 2019 to 2023 of the graph, Gamuda has been able to improve decreasingly its short-term liquidity. 2023 slightly decreased in the 2.23 compare previous year. It means to 2022 in 3.75, and Gamuda has been able to maintain a healthy liquidity positions. Current ratio in IJM Berhad in 2019 to 2023. A ratio IJM above 1. That means it's so variable. The graph shows the company have highest current asset than the current liabilities. In the 2019 to 2021, showing increase the current ratio and suggests improved ability to meet short-term obligations during this period. But in 2022 to 2023, slightly decreased, showing the company liquidity have a slightly weak. Comparative analysis in 2023 for the both companies is Gamuda Berhad has a current ratio 2.23, while the IJM Corp Berhad has a 2.47. But the both company have above 1. So the both company have a stable financial, but IJM may have slightly advantage in term liquidity in current ratio than the Gamuda Berhad. Quick ratio for the Gamuda Berhad in 2019 to 2023, Gamuda has been consistently improved from 2019 to 2022 by reach the highest 2.20. In 2023, Gamuda slightly decreased to 1.36 but still above 1 of liquidity positions. So the company consistently improved in 2019 to 2022, and ability to maintain in 2023 is a positive sign of financial health. For the quick ratio for IJM Corp Berhad, there's a quick ratio for IJM Berhad in year 2019 and 2021 have a gradually improving. In 2022, company improved a liquidity in 1.02 and the ratio slightly dropped to 0.94 in 2023. But in 2022, the company has slightly decreased to 1.02 and the ratio slightly dropped to 0.94 in 2023. So it's good IJM Berhad quick ratio has been improving over time, reflecting its effort to enhance its liquidity position. Comparative analysis in 2023 of the quick ratios for the both company. Based on the quick ratio, Gamuda has the highest of 1.36 compared to IJM Corp Berhad of 0.94. Gamuda Berhad better paying off without relying on inventory sales and higher, stronger liquidity positions, better cash flow management, lower debt than IJM Corp Berhad. IJM Corp Berhad lower quick ratio suggests challenge in managing short-term liabilities.
In this part, graph show the debt ratio of the Gamuda Berhad showing a negative trend starting 2019 until 2023. Due the economic climate and so on, the company relies on more their debts to operation day to day. The next part is the graph showing IJM Corporation Berhad. As we can see, the graph show the positive trend. This indicate that the company use their debt efficiency and repayment their debts. So the debt can be maintained at the good sign. Next is the comparative between Gamuda Berhad and IJM Corporation in year 2023 because the latest of the data that we can get. It showed that IJM has more positive trend rather than Gamuda Berhad, which is IJM has only 46.55% and Gamuda has 54.05%, which is difference. So we can see that Gamuda has a lot of debt in 2023. Okay. Next, we are going to the second leverage ratio, which is a debt equity to ratio. Debt equity ratio in Gamuda, as we can see in the slide, it show a negative trend lah because due of the high debt, cannot pay, it can carry forward the next year. So as we can see to the slide, every year the debt equity to ratio of exceed 100% every year. So this may be risky to the company on the long term. Next is the equity to ratio of the IJM Corporation Berhad. As you can see in the slide, the graph showed a positive trend, which is the company managed to reduce their debt and increasing the equity of the 5 years period respectively lah. So this is good sign of the company in the long term. Okay, lastly of my part is the comparative of debt equity to ratio in term of the Gamuda Berhad versus IJM Corporation. In year 2023, Gamuda Berhad has higher debt ratio of equity than the IJM. This is reason because the Gamuda rely on their debt to manage their operation. In other hand, IJM is trying to lowering their debt ratio to equity and increasing their equity. This is due of the lowering risk of the company. IJM is higher equity than the Gamuda Berhad. That's all to me. Thank you.
Activity ratio, also called as an efficiency ratio, and evaluate how efficiently a company use its assets and liabilities to generate revenue and maximize profit. Inventory turnover evaluate how often a company turns over its inventory relative to COGS. Fixed asset turnover is to measure operating performance and company ability to generate net sales from its fixed asset investment. Asset turnover to measure the value of company sales or revenue relative to the value of its asset. Also indicates the company efficiency of using its asset to generate revenue. on the data table and graph, Gamuda Berhad showed a fluctuation over the 5 years. The ratio declined from 2019 until 2021. However, in 2022 and 2023, there was a significant improvement. It showed the company able to sell and replace its inventory at a faster rate. Based on the data table and graph, IJM Corp Berhad has consistent decline over the 5 years. The ratio in 2019 continued drop until 2023. This indicates IJM Corp Berhad facing difficulties to optimizing its inventory management. In 2023, Gamuda Berhad boasts a higher inventory turnover with 1.79. In contrast, IJM Corp Berhad lags with a lower turnover of 0.49. Overall, Gamuda Berhad is more efficient in managing its inventory. Based on the data table and graph, Gamuda Berhad displayed diversity over the 5 years. In 2019 and 2020, the ratio was decreased but recovered in 2021 and consistently increased until 2023. This indicates improvement in utilizing fixed asset and increased productivity. Based on the data table and graph, IJM Corp Berhad displayed diversity over the 5 years. In 2019 until 2021, the ratio was declined but recovered in 2022 and 2023. The ratio increasingly and indicates enhancement in revenue generation. In 2023, Gamuda Berhad fixed asset turnover outshined IJM Corp Berhad. It showed Gamuda Berhad utilized its asset more efficiently to generate sales compared to IJM Corp Berhad. Based on the data table and graph, Gamuda Berhad showed fluctuation with positive trend over the 5 years. In 2019 until 2021, the ratio was declined but has improvement in 2022 and 2023. This shows significant enhancement in company ability to generate revenue from its total asset. Based on the data table and graph, IJM Corp Berhad showed the fluctuation over the 5 years. From 2019 until 2020, the ratio was rising. However, there was a decline from 2021 and 2022. In 2023, there was an improvement. This showed IJM Corp Berhad struggled to efficiently utilize assets to generate revenue. In 2023, Gamuda Berhad and IJM Corp Berhad has different asset turnover ratio. Gamuda have good use of its asset to generate revenue and sign of operational efficiency compared to IJM Corp Berhad.
Hi, today I'm going to present about profitability ratio. Profitability ratio is a ratio that measures the profitability of a company at given level of asset, equity, and sales. Three ratio that we use is operating margin, net profit margin, and return on asset margin. As you can see, the operating margin for Gamuda Berhad is actually going downward, but there's a slight increase in 2021 with record of 11.35, while the current year is 8.45. The operating margin for IJM Corp is fluctuated, but with the highest ratio was on 2021, which is 19.63, while the latest is 19.48. So in the current year, operating margin between IJM and Gamuda, IJM higher than Gamuda. Actually, IJM Corp's sales is less than Gamuda, but likely because of their operating cost is low, so their margin become high. The profit margin for Gamuda Berhad is, it look like fluctuating, but if you see it really carefully, you can see it's actually increasing year by year, starting from 2020 until the current year 2023. Their current and the most highest result for profit margin was in 2023 with record of 22.36. The net profit margin for IJM Corp is very fluctuated, but their highest margin was on 2022, which is a year where they discard IJM plantation. The comparison between IJM and Gamuda Berhad, net profit margin, Gamuda Berhad is higher than IJM. This is because Gamuda Berhad had
mainly profit in terms of tax profit than IJM land lah. So their net profit become higher. Return on asset for Gamuda Berhad is fluctuated, but for the past 4 years it is increasing year by year, with the current year record of 8.35%. The ROA for IJM Berhad is fluctuated. As you can see, their highest percentage on ROA was 3.57, but then plummet to 0.76 in 2023. The current year return on asset for Gamuda Berhad and IJM Berhad, as you can see, shows a really distant difference lah. So for Gamuda Berhad is the very high than IJM Berhad with record of 8.35, while IJM only record at 0.76. This means that on every RM1 investment made on asset for Gamuda Berhad, Gamuda able to generate 8 cents of return, while IJM Corp only able to generate 0.007 cent on every one ringgit invested in their asset. In conclusion, we as investor will invest in Gamuda Berhad. Firstly, because Gamuda wins over IJM Corporation in most of the ratio analysis. And next, because Gamuda shows high profitability than IJM Corporation. Gamuda also shows that they are still remain capable to fulfill any short-term obligation, despite they fell a bit shorter than IJM Corp's ratio. And lastly, Gamuda shows steady increase in activity ratio, which mean that it will also generate more profit in the future.
As our recommendation for the companies to improve their company's development is: firstly, for liquidity ratio, the company should more diversify on funding resources sustainability. For example, the company can issue for long-term bonds or securing long-term financing agreements with other financial institutions. Next, for leverage ratio, maintain their reasonable debt ratio. A moderate level of debt ratio will allow a company to leverage its equity and take advantage of market conditions to maximize its returns. Then, for profitability ratio, the company have to stay abreast of industry trends and market demands. For example, focus on smart infrastructure by contributing to the development of smart infrastructure projects. Lastly, for activity ratio, improve the overall activity ratio in the constructions. For example, conduct periodic inventory audit to ensure accuracy and identify the slow-moving items. It helps in making decisions about inventory level.